Pool so mad cause he can do it like me. Pool stay mad cause he sippin' that tea. Pool so mad can't get it like me. Wanna ride out with lovely. When you see me coming to the DKHizouse, you all lit and you know what we're talking about. When you see me coming, step in, step out. When you see me, we gon' run our mile. It's the DKHizouse for sure. You see me coming and I'm coming back for more. When you see me and I see you, we at the gears I we do. So let's talk about it. Um, we're gonna talk about the fact that you ain't really got a relationship if you gotta do these things. Okay, there's a couple things, but we're gonna get into it. Okay, the first thing is if you got to constantly go through your person's phone, intercept your person's calls, first like going through their phone, baby, you're not in a relationship. You're in a dictatorship. Okay? You don't even trust the person that you're with. You have to go through their phone to make sure that they're not cheating on you. That's crazy. You already expect that they're going to cheat. They probably are cheating. So you have to make yourself feel better and go through their phone. That's lame. Like, you automatically know that you don't have anything, so you have to stay on top of things to make sure that they're not cheating. Or maybe you're cheating and you want to make sure they don't cheat and leave you, and you're keeping the relationship together based on this control method that doesn't really have to take place, but just so you feel better, you make sure to check their phone. Another thing is if you monitor their calls, monitor, intercept their calls. Like, for instance, I know this person who was getting their person's phone tapped, and they could see the person's text messages, uh, like person location, like they were like a stalker, basically. Like, they knew who the person was talking to. They would check the phone records, like psycho kind of stuff or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, if a person wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat regardless. The fact that you are trying to intercede, like, if I called a person, they would have the phone, text messages, phone calls going to them. So the person will not see certain calls, certain texts, or certain people because the person was intercepting them because they knew people, they knew how to hack and all this other stuff. Like, that's not a relationship. You are making sure that nobody has access to your person but you, and unless you know who is accessing your person. That's crazy. And you also are going to check the location of your person's whereabouts to make sure that they are where they say that they are. That's no trust. That's no communication. That's worse than what a parent would even do. There's several parents out here that don't keep locations on their children because they trust their children. Now, if a parent did that to their child, it would be much more understandable because children don't make the best of choices sometimes. Children can make very, very much sporadic choices, bad decisions, and you kind of got to make sure they're good because they are naive, they are dumb, they can't really function effectively at times. But the fact that you want to do this to your partner, check their location, intercept who they're talking to, that's psycho. That's psychotic. You need help. And that's more of a control issue. It's nothing to do with love. It's because you don't want anybody else to be able to talk to your person better than you. Give the person any hope that they can do better than you. Make any false narratives that you want to this person because the other person cannot talk to them or validate what you are saying. You got to check their location because you want to know who they're talking to, where they're going, if they're leaving you, if they're trying to leave you, if they're trying to escape, because you know you're psycho, so you know that maybe one day they'll want to leave, they'll want to go somewhere else, and you have to be one step of the game to intersect that decision, so they would choose to stay with you even though they clearly don't want to be with you, and you know that, and that's why you got to stay one step ahead of the game to make sure that they don't leave you, that they don't talk to anybody, and that they are where they say they are when they leave your presence because you were not with them or you couldn't go. That's psychotic. That's control on another level. It's like, why would a person want to be with a person that's always in their mix, always in their business? They can't breathe. They can't see. Like, that's psychotic. You're psychotic and you know it. You're psychotic, bitch. You can go away. You're psychotic, dick, and you know it. You're psychotic, bitch, and you know it. I'm psychotic. You're psychotic. We psychotic. Psychotic. Yeah. If you have cameras all up and through your house, outside your house, in your house, at your place of work, at that place of work, you're psychotic. You want to make sure that you know where people are at all times, who they're talking to at all times, who's coming to your door at all times, who's leaving your house at all times. Where else do they have cameras at? Places of work for safety measures, security measures, but not at home. If you have it at home, it's to make sure nobody's intruding in your home. Why would somebody intrude in your home? You know, have a camera on the outside. Okay, maybe that's normal, but in the bedroom, like every room in the house, that's overkill. That's crazy. But, you know, some people don't have lives, and their only life is to paint this false narrative to the person that they're with, so the person will want to stay with them. I actually had a person of mine who would monitor. They put cameras and different things, and they would know who I was talking to, where I was going, and they would put it in weird stuff like computers, TVs, and stuff like that as well. And like I said, they try to hack my phone, listen to my conversation. So yeah, they knew what was going on, and they used it as a form of control, to see if I was planning on leaving them, if who I was talking to, so they could try to use it against me. It's very weird or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, when you're that person, you're that chick, when you're that guy, people don't want to let you go. And that's just how it is. It's just a fact. And I've had these same people beg me to stay with them. These same people like hunt me down. These same people do the most to try to keep me when I told them I was done. Now don't get me wrong, I gave them warnings way before I was done, but they didn't believe me. So when I was done, I was done. And there was no more talking. There was no more that needed to be said. No more that needed to be done. Because first of all, you're doing the most. You are videoing me, like listening to my conversations, recording me while you're supposed to be at work. And so like that. I won't forget one incident. I remember this like the back of my hand. Because I used to sit and watch TV a lot. And sometimes I would watch YouTube on TV. Hence why I'm doing YouTube now. Very educational, right? I'm up here scrolling, going through the guide, going through different things on the TV. Why in the world the things start flipping on its own, clicking channels on its own, different things? And you know, a little around that time, I started seeing things about how you can put cameras in people's TVs, and it's especially with these smart TVs, and it's actually a thing. So I remember a lot of times when I was with the person I was with, like I would be like, how do they know this, or how do they know that? They weren't even here. It was because they were surveillancing me while I was not there. Now keep in mind, I don't want to be surveillanced at my job. I don't want to be surveillanced out in public. So when I'm in the home and privacy of my own home, in my own area, that's the last place that I want to be surveillance, okay? So if you feel like you have to surveillance your partner and all this and that, it's because you're psychotic, you're crazy, and you know the person does not need to be with you, and that they may decide to not be with you, but as a form of control, you try to monitor what they say, monitor what they do, monitor who they're talking to, monitor where they're going, so you can intercede that and act like you care, act like you're there for them, but in reality, you're a crazy lunatic who needs help. I'm okay with wanting to be with a person, want to be with your partner, but there is a boundary line. Like, you cannot control a person. You cannot tell them who they can and cannot talk to, where they can and cannot go, and monitor it as if you are about that. Because with that being said, you will go talk to the people that they're talking to, try to make things happen, and so forth and so on, based on who they're talking and where they're going. So if something doesn't fall through, they'll wonder why. It's because you done made a call to these people to cancel this action, do this, do that, because you are a stalker. And that's where it gets overkill. That's where it gets out of hand, because you're interfering with somebody's life and whereabouts and things, and they didn't invite you to interfere, to care about what they had going on. That's the psychotic part. All right, then you know you don't have a real relationship if you have to lie. If you are lying just to make somebody happy, just to make somebody feel good, let's say that you work as a chef, but you know a person that you are interested in does not like chefs, but they like ballerinas. So you tell that person, oh yes, I'm a ballerina with 6 gigs coming up. I can't wait for you to see me perform and this and this and that. Just like the people who fake pregnancies and stuff just to keep their men. It's really a thing. Like, I didn't even know this, but watching TikTok, I discovered that there's actual people that really do chameleon things just so they can get the person that they want. Like, for a person that they want likes rock, they'll act like they like rock. If a person that they are interested in loves to surf, they'll go take some surfing lessons and act like they want to surf and invite this person on surfing dates. Like, that's low-key psychotic to me, crazy, because if you weren't liking surfing before you met me, why all of a sudden do you like to surf? Like, do you want to break your neck? Do you want to break your arm? Like, those are the kind of fake people that I can't stand around me, because it's like, this is not who you are in real life. This is just who you are, and you pretend to be because you want me to like you. That's weird, bro. That's weird. But it's low-key a thing. People actually do this. People actually try to be people who they're not. I even know this girl who knows this guy was interested in me. So she started looking like me, getting her hair the same color that she saw me wear. She would like get her face to look like me. Like, I have big full lips. She wanted big full lips, so she started getting her lips done and stuff like that, just so he would see me when he looked at her. Like, lies. Like, I feel like you need to get your lips done because that's what you want to be, not because you want somebody to stay with you or be attracted to you. And I feel like you should like surfing because you want to surf, not because you think the person that you're interested in will love you because you like the same things that they like. That's weird to me, but that's what they got going on in this world. You have to be very, very careful. That's how you know you're not winning. Okay, and these are the things that I'm saying allegedly. It could prove that you're not winning in your relationship, and you really probably need to give it up. The next thing is voodoo. Yeah, you don't think that witchcraft, that goes on. But luckily, God has revealed things to me, people to me, and it goes on more often than not. Even on TikTok, you hear about these things that people do to try to keep their person. A lot of the witchcraft that goes on deals with in love crimes. People do it to people who reject them. Tell them that they don't want to be with them. Tell them that they're not interested in them. This is a sign that something may have been done to you. For instance, if you tell a person you're not interested, you don't want to be with them, but they're persistent. They're coming for you, coming for you, coming for you. Then out the blue, you start thinking about this person. You weren't thinking about this person before, but all of a sudden you're thinking about how life will be with this person, how cute this person is, how attractive this person is, like how much money they can bring into your life. Just random stuff that you wasn't even thinking a week ago or a month ago or even a day ago. That's because they have done something to make you think of them. And you're like, oh yeah, that stuff doesn't work. That stuff is crazy. That stuff is. And yo, I didn't even think it worked, but I have seen some people and I have heard of some situations that it low key can work. And it's mostly on your belief system and what you believe and what you accept and all this. And that will kind of determine what can be put on you, what can be done on you. And I've even been told how women will admit to doing things. And like I said, you've seen it on TikTok. Like they'll say put stuff in people's food and this and that. It's actually a thing. Like some women are so desperate to keep the man that they're with or keep their person or woman in line or with them and thinking of them that they actually do dark things to manipulate the person's mind, the person thinking, to make them stay with them. And it's very sad. It's very unfortunate, but sometimes it actually works. Like I know a lot of the things which is women's doing these things, they actually have the man that they're with. And that person has no idea because they come across as sweet, innocent, and nice. But that doesn't mean that they are. And that definitely does not mean that you are winning because you are manipulating somebody's will. You're manipulating somebody's mind. You're manipulating somebody's heart to stay and want to be with you when they clearly didn't want to be with you before, when they were in their right mind, before the manipulation and the other stuff that you have to do. Like that's a sign that you're not winning. So it's a lot that goes on in this life that people do to stay with the people that they are. A lot of toxic things that don't really make any sense. And it really is sad that people feel the need to do these things to keep the person that they want with them. Now tell me your stories down below. What is the craziest thing that a person has done to be with you? Even for me, I've had voodoo used on me. I had no idea that that's what was happening to me at the time. I've had spying done to me. I've had people looking at my phone records, like people hacking into my messages. Like it's a real thing. I could tell some crazy stories and I'll try to tell you some of them. But I want to know your stories down below. These people are losing. I'm sorry, doing it by any means, but I gotta go right now. We come to you, but I gotta go right now. You're still my friend, but you gotta come again. Still a long time with me, friend. Until next time, stay a little, stay alive. Until next time, stay such a guy.